I think the great advantage of conferences like this is it gets people out of their little silo. When you're involved in technology, you tend to be very focused on that, whether that's social networking or nanotechnology or any other aspect. And being put together with people from other areas of technology is where you can start getting creative and start meeting people and coming out, being exposed to ideas you wouldn't normally come across in your day-to-day work. And that, for me, is really where the innovation has come from. Most of the businesses I've been involved with that have done something really creative, it's because they've got a little bit outside their comfort zone and mixed a few different disciplines. We're at probably an inflection point. After 10 years, $67.5 billion worth of public funding around the world has gone into nanotechnology, or I should say nanoscience, and a lot of that has gone into actually funding the science. So we're at the stage now where we're beginning to see the applications of that coming through in things like materials, in textiles, and all kinds of other things. So the important thing with any technology is it has to be mature enough for industry to be able to accept it. If it's just something that somebody does in a lab, then it's not much use to anybody. So when you build a product, you have to have this quality control, you have to have, a process rather than just a technology. And it's taken us about 10 years to get there. Where we're going is materials by design. Let me explain that. If you look at what nature does, it creates proteins, it creates data storage mechanisms such as DNA, data processing such as neurons and brains. We can't come up with anything anywhere near as sophisticated as that with our current technologies. I can't read a floppy disk that I wrote 5-6 years ago. So whereas we can read DNA information from 2 billion years ago from sort of bacterial DNA. So where we're at is we're beginning through a combination of nanotechnology, through life sciences, and through computing power to be able to understand how all these things work, and then building things that would allow us to do what we want to do, rather than taking something like some silicon and using lots of energy and wasting lots of it to force it to process information. So this is what we mean by materials by design. We'll be a lot further down the line, but 10, 20 years is the normal kind of time scale it will take before you have these really disruptive, revolutionary technologies. But that doesn't mean that there aren't very good opportunities now.